Hey everyone, it's Ted, the Buffalo Beauty Boy, and as I'm sure you saw by the title, today I'm going to be sharing my morning skincare routine. So the title is definitely a little clickbaity. I was getting a facial and I started getting facials regularly in the last maybe 6 months. I go probably every like 3 months, 2 months, just for general, health and upkeeping of my skin. But the first time I went, we were talking about procedures and stuff like that. I have not had anything done to my face. I haven't had anything done in general. I just take really good care of my skin. I use a lot of actives, and those I incorporate in my evening routine, so I'm not really going to be talking about those today. But I asked my esthetician what she felt about, Botox, lasers, whatnot, and she said that anything that I would be doing is preventative, not like treating. And she said that my skin looked really good. So I didn't wind up, going through any procedural anything. And then at my second facial, I kind of took the tidbits that she gave me, which were really to just amp up my moisturization. She said my skin looked really good, but it was a little bit dehydrated. And I mean, she's a professional, so I was there to like receive the information that she gave me. But I was a little shocked because I pride myself on taking really good care of my skin. So she recommended, really focusing like more on like the forehead instead of like the cheeks, which guilty as charged. And then she also said to use like a hydrating mask, a couple times a week. And that's something that I did kind of reintroduce. But when I went back for my second one, I laid down and she was like, "Did you wind up getting Botox? Your forehead looks really good." And I was like, "Oh my God, me? No." But I had incorporated a couple of the things that she said. So yeah, I have not had Botox. I have not had anything. I'm not against it. It's something that I can see myself doing in the future. But as of right now, I have not had anything and I don't have any like immediate plans to do so. I'm not against anything. I think if that's what makes you feel good and you want to allocate your budget to that, feel free. I have friends that have had stuff done and they look incredible. But my goal with anything really is I never want to look young. I want to look really good. So, I figure right now I'm 28 and 10, 15 years down the line, I can't promise that I don't have a little help up there, or a little bee sting in the lips. But it's never in a vain attempt to look young. It's always to just, "Oh, Ted, you look really good." That's my goal, is to look good, not young. I think with the beauty industry, and like the beauty world at large, like there's so much pressure to adhere to beauty standards and youth and vitality, and that's really toxic to me. As a hairdresser behind the chair, I see people from every age bracket, and I try to have references for what I think is beautiful for everybody. When I think of beauty, I think of my grandmother, who has this gorgeous silver spiky hair, and she walks twice a day, and she's like busier than all of us combined because she is retired and she goes on trips with her friends, and she's just so spry and so beautiful. And she is a very Italian looking woman. She is tan by like May 1st just from going on walks, and she is gorgeous. Whenever she gets her hair cut, she leaves and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, she's beautiful." I think of my mother, who, is just such a hard worker and such an incredible woman. And she recently started wearing mascara, and that's her beauty routine, is a little bit of mascara. I feel like I remember her wearing like a plum colored blush to like weddings and funerals when I was a kid. So really, like, my interest in the beauty world is all self-motivated, and because of the people in my lives that I think are beautiful and really embody beauty to me, I don't have these rigid notions of what I think is beautiful. even on like a celebrity aspect. The people that I like love are people that I find have interesting faces. You know, I think like Helen Mirren is stunning. Florence Welch is the definition of a handsome woman. She is gorgeous and she looks better now in her, I think she's in her late 30s than she did, you know, when she was first starting out, because her features are features that were meant to be grown into. And she just, you know, I think of these women and I think of how beautiful they are. I think of like Oprah, who is like timeless and stunning. You know what I mean? So in terms of like my beauty references, I always kind of say that I kind of want to look like a mix of James Corden and an Olsen twin. And here we are. It's the beard, isn't it? Like James Corden from like the nose down, Olsen twin from the forehead up. Like, I'll take it. So now that I've rambled, I'm going to get into my actual skincare routine. So I'm not really going to be talking about any of my actives. When I talk about actives, I'm talking about acids and retinols and like treatments, rather than like vitamin C and hyaluronic acid and stuff like that, that is technically active, but doesn't have as much efficacy. In the morning, I will either use micellar water to like clean my face, or I'll use just a really gentle cleanser. I love the Youth to the People Kale and Green Tea. This is the third one of these that I've been through. This is my second time filling this with like the big refill. So I have used like 3 of these jammers and I love this. I was really anti-foaming cleanser for like forever. And this one has just kind of wormed its way in and I love it. I also really like the Dior Off On cleanser, but that is princess material. Like that is a very pricey cleanser. So I don't really use that in the morning. But the Kale Green Tea Spinach cleanser from Youth to the People is great. There's also the cream cleanser from Hero Cosmetics. It's the Hero Clear Collective Gentle Milky Cleanser. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it and I'm probably going to be picking up another one. And then, like I said, sometimes I will just use a micellar water on a cotton pad. I do have reusable cotton pads and I use those a lot, but then when they're not clean, I always have these ones. These look like the Shiseido ones, but the Shiseido ones are dumb expensive. These are from CVS and they're kind of a dupe. I feel like I hate that we live in the simulation where we're like duping cotton pads, but I get the square ones from CVS and they're wonderful. After I cleanse, I like to go in with a hydrating mist or essence. I'm using the Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate one from Youth to the People. And what I'll do is I will use this 3-4 times. So not quite the 7 skin method, but I will really try to jam pack that moisture and nutrients back into my skin after cleansing. And I'm a huge believer in massage. Like I will massage my skin. I know there's people that say that you shouldn't, that you want to kind of just press and you shouldn't really work your skin. I find that if I do a really nice massage, I'll even sometimes use a gua sha. My skin just looks really happy and healthy. So I believe in like massaging and getting the blood flowing. So I'll use something like this 2 or 3 times. The one from Indie Lee is really nice. And then the one from Good Light is also divine as well. So after my 3rd application or whatever you have time for, that's when I go in with my essence. The essence that I'm going to use is the Cosrx Snail Mucin. I say snail essence because mucin is an aggressive term. So I take about 3 pumps of that. It's like a thick water. And while my last spray is still wet, I will work that in. Again, just really like massaging my skin. And this is the part that absolutely takes the longest, is that first, you know, several applications. But I find It really hydrates my skin and preps my canvas to look amazing for the rest of the day. So after my essence is thoroughly absorbed and you're left with kind of a velvety touch, that's when I go in with my eye cream. I'm using the Biossance Squalane and Marine Algae Eye Cream. This was sent to me in PR, and I use my ring finger. I just kind of dab it and then work underneath. And I really just gently dab that in. And then whatever's left on my ring finger, I take and I put on my lips. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that. I have no proof of this, but I read somewhere that if it's an eye cream, it's ophthalmologist tested. And if it's safe for the eyes, it's also safe for the lips. That is just what I read once upon a time, a million years ago. Nothing that I say today is gospel. It's just what I do. So I will kind of massage whatever's left on my ring finger into my lips. I don't know. I've done it since I was 20. After I have my eye cream on, sometimes I will use a eye mask. I have the Pacifica reusable eye masks. So if I'm not like headed to work or anything like that, I will put these guys on. They just look like this. They're reusable. They're great. But usually that's like a weekend thing, not a day-to-day thing. You know, if I don't do the eye mask, I will go straight in with my serum. The serum that I love, I've probably repurchased this like the most in my life of any serum, is the Good Light We Come in Peace Probiotic Microbiome Serum. This has blue tansy, this has carrot seed oil, tons of really good stuff. It says, our unique microbiome enhancing serum is turbocharged with soothing ingredients to create the healthiest environment for your skin barrier. I take about 2 pumps. And I used to always start on my cheeks, but my esthetician told me to work on my forehead. So I start there, and then I do my cheeks, and then my chin, and then I bring everything into my beard. And really, again, massage that in. Sometimes I won't always use this. I'll go in with a vitamin C serum. But if I have the time or I feel like my skin needs it, I will use this, and then I'll go in with a vitamin C serum. So the vitamin C serum that I'm currently using is Phytosurgence Moonlight Afterglow. This is a vitamin C antioxidant support serum, and it's gorgeous. Phytosurgence is a phenomenal brand. I take like 4 pumps, and it's this gorgeous golden unctuous texture. All of the products that I'm mentioning today from Phytosurgence, I have paid for. However, I have received some gifts from the brand and loved them. I'm obsessed with their blushes. I'm obsessed with their eyeshadows, but their skincare is really, really amazing. So that was Phytosurgence Moonlight Afterglow. And you can see it just gives this beautiful finish to the skin. It's not quite an oil, but it's like a beautiful oil serum. And that's my main like vitamin C source. Now, the next product that I use is my moisturizer, and that is also by Phytosurgence. It is their it is their Verdant Force Field moisturizer. It's a restorative moisturizer with green tea, licorice root, centella, PHA, allantoin, and panthenol. Just a beautiful, beautiful ingredient deck. This is maybe my 4th or 5th one. I have another one at the go. I take 2 pumps of it, and it really creates a beautiful occlusive barrier of moisture on the skin that I find is really calming and hydrating, but it also is a great base for makeup. And I'll work that like onto my chest and stuff as well. Full transparency, when I'm doing my skincare routine, I'm usually not in a robe. I'm like fresh out of the shower. So I take it chest, shoulders, on my KP, on my tattoos, like I put it everywhere. If my hands still have product, I'm gonna use it. Last but not least, probably the most important step of your morning skincare routine is your sunscreen. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about sunscreen. What I'll say is you need to use an adequate amount of sunscreen for your face, not a drop. You need to use enough sunscreen to get the actual valid SPF factor. This is the Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. It's a chemical sunscreen. So there's chemical versus mineral. I have one of each, but all in all, the best sunscreen for you is the sunscreen that you can wear successfully. So any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen, and to only push mineral sunscreens or to only push chemical sunscreens is just kind of weird. Mineral sunscreens often have a strong white cast to them that is not suitable for deeper skin tones, and thus it's really hard for people with deeper skin tones to find mineral sunscreen formulas that are successful. So a lot of companies that only push mineral sunscreens are neglecting an entire group of people that cannot use the product. So I'm huge on whatever sunscreen works for you is the best sunscreen. That being said, today I'm going to be using the Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. I don't use this as a moisturizer. I use this as a sunscreen because that's what it is to me. I have a couple mineral sunscreens and a couple chemical sunscreens. I like a chemical sunscreen because I can recommend it to you, to my friends, to anybody, unless they're specifically sensitive to chemical sunscreens, which they would know. I take about that much, so that is, I think 5 pumps. And with this one specifically, they have a mechanism in here. So if you fill this with the product, that is enough SPF for your entire face. It's a 1/4 teaspoon. I found that 5 pumps from the tube fills that, so I take that much, and then I really work it all over. I like this because it's beard friendly, so I don't have to be super precious about getting it in my beard. And then I kind of, put it on my neck, my chest, my ears, everything. And there you go. That is my morning skincare routine. I know it feels like a lot. My skin is very succulent and very dewy and also probably like a little wet right now. But after 5-10 minutes, everything really sets in. And then I will usually just put on brows, put on blush, leave the house, and I'm good to go. But this also is a great base for a full face of makeup if I so choose. And yeah. I will say this is my first adventure in like a skincare video because I feel like skincare is so deeply personal and everybody has tons of feelings about it. So I just wanted to share what I use and what works for me. So if you made it all this way, that is my morning skincare routine. I know that it seems like a lot. However, that's just what works for me and my skin needs. I've been following a routine similar to this for years, and I feel like it's been really successful in keeping my skin hydrated, happy, protected from the sun, and it really helps keep my skin just balanced. I don't really deal with breakouts a ton anymore, and I attribute it to being stringent with my skincare. I have not made a lot of skincare content because I feel like skincare is something that is so deeply personal. And any of these products are products that I've used for a really long time, but that doesn't mean that they'll necessarily work for you. So I guess really just like do your research if you're unsure of something. Look into the ingredient decks and figure out like, oh, I'm really sensitive to actives, so maybe I don't want to use a stronger vitamin C serum. Or, if you have really sensitive skin, maybe don't use a chemical SPF because they have been known to be a little bit irritating. There's tons of content creators that are super well-versed in skincare. What I personally look for is somebody that is an esthetician that is trained in skincare and has the backing to it versus somebody who's just really likes it. I do find that having that professional training teaches you how to talk about it and teaches you how to recommend things properly rather than based on just your opinions and what works for you. It lets you look at everything across the board. So I follow a lot of people that are like cosmetic scientists, like Glow by Ramon, who's incredible. Caroline Hirons is a wonderful resource. She absolutely changed my skin. I love her. I'll try to link them in the description. Like I said, none of this is gospel. It's just what works for me, and I wanted to share that with you. As always, thank you for coming to hang out. Thank you for waking up with me. And in the comments below, let me know your favorite morning skincare routine. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers and it has been wonderful. Everybody's been so incredibly sweet. So I'm loving chatting with you in the comments and over on Instagram at BuffaloBeautyBoy. As always, I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I hope that you're showing yourself the same kindness and love that you show everybody else. And I hope you remember that you're made of gold.